paper and today brought to fruition. The third state level 2-day conference, presence of our esteemed guest, the chief guest for today's function, Shri Prasad Lolayekar, IAS Secretary of Education, along with Shri Shailesh Sinai Zingde, Director of Education, and Reverend Father Henry Falcao, Rector of Spiritual Renewal Center, Old Goa. We regret that Dr. Shambhu Ghadi, Director of SCERT, could not be with us today as he's out of prayer changes things. But now, I know that prayer changes us and we change things. Kind request to Mrs. Esmeralda Mendes Fernandes, Headmistress of Holy Spirit Institute, Marga, to lead us in prayer. Light is one of the most important elements of life, both physically and spiritually. Light offers us many things. Physically, light reveals the vitality and beauty of nature. Spiritually, light gives us hope, love, peace, and trust. Light illuminates. If you light a lamp for someone else, it will also brighten your path. So we look forward to brighter paths today and tomorrow. We have a plethora of distinguished guests in our presence. If one takes a up, besides perseverance and hard work, and willingness, I now call upon Mr. Vilas.
Please to introduce today's guest, chief guest of our inaugural ceremony. Sir is an IAS officer, presently holding the post of Education Secretary Goa, as well as Director of Higher Education, as well as Director of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. I think sir does not require any introduction as such, but we all know it is the first time that we got our own Goan as an Education Secretary who knows all the challenges before all of us. And we could see a lot of changes in the education system in once sir is taken as a Secretary Education. We know that NEP has been already implemented as an initiative of sir when he took as a Secretary. Also, we know that a lot of our old demands are now getting fulfilled. So, it is the vision of Lolayekar sir that has put up all this on the place. Another thing in NEP, we know that NEP speaks about the integration of art, music in curriculum. But sir has already done it in Goa long back. Because when sir was holding the post of Director Art and Culture, sir has initiated this, and then we have now music teachers already in place in our schools. So once again I welcome sir, and I request all of you to put your hands together to welcome a great teacher. Thank you.
Reverend Father Henry, distinguished guest on the dais, Director of Education, Sir Shailesh Zingde, President GHA, Sister Liberata, and all you, my dear colleagues. It gives me immense pleasure and I feel a great privilege to introduce our very own Director of Education, Sir Shailesh Zingde, to the gathering of today. When you undertake quality work, there's no doubt about it that you will be rewarded with quality recognition. Sir Zingde has been upholding high quality coupled by pioneering spirit, generosity, hard work, sacrifice, and belief in self. With MSc in Physics and B.Ed from Goa University, experience and expertise in subject matters, administration, and especially human relationships, sir, you stand as an inspiration to us all. Humble beginnings can be traced as Sir started his career as Grade 1 teacher way back in 1990 at Dr. T.V. Kuna High Secondary School, Panaji. After promotion in 2006, he served as headmaster of 4 government schools in different places in Goa. Scaled higher on the ladder of success in 2010 when he was appointed as Assistant Secretary, Goa Board of Secondary and Higher Secondary Education. Soon, luck kept him soaring higher and higher with appointments as quickly as follows. Deputy Director of Education at Directorate of Education from April 2012 to May 2012. Soon again, Deputy Director North Education Zone MAPSA from May 2012 to December 2014. Deputy Director Academic Section from December 2014 to August 20. Deputy Director South Goa Zone Margao from August 20 to August 21. Deputy Director Central Education Zone Panaji from August 21 to May 22. And finally, at the apex, he stands so uprightly and most deservingly, Director of Education, Government of Goa, from May 22 to date. Upholding quality and passion for his work is an inspiring success story of the man leading us all, always standing by us and for us, and therefore, sir, we feel so privileged to be collaborators with you in this great mission of education in Goa. It's our great pleasure to have you today. Thank you for giving us the gift of your presence this morning. A warm welcome, and we wish to have you with us today.
Thank you, sir. It's your address.
Education helps us to get exposure to new ideas and concepts that we can use to improve the world around us and world within us. A blessed morning to one and all present here. I, on behalf of GHA, take this opportunity to welcome the distinguished dignitaries present in this vibrant gathering, along with the dynamic heads of the Institute for the 3rd state-level conference for school heads. The illustrious presence of Shri Prasad Lolayekar, IAS officer, Secretary of Education, in our midst adds to the allure to this event. Welcome, sir. Thank you for accepting our invitation. So also for getting me in many times during my short time now, that you gave a listening ear to many of our issues that we faced as heads of the institution. We are graced with two academic stalwarts. A warm welcome, Sir Shailesh Sinai Zingde, Director of Education, for allowing us to walk in any time to meet you when we wanted to discuss various issues. We regret the presence of Dr. Shambhu S. Ghadi, but he's supposed to be here tomorrow. Director SCERT, for organizing and helping us with many meetings for this conference, to host this conference, this time in collaboration with the SCERT. Last, but far from the list, a hearty welcome, Reverend Father Henry Falcao, Rector of Spiritual Renewal Center, Old Goa. Martin Luther King is quoted to having said, "An educated man uses his education as a powerful tool to change self-centered mirrors into windows of opportunities." To this intuitive insight, I would like to add the spiritual sagacity of Mother Teresa when she said, "There cannot be true education without the steady and tireless education of the heart." The theme chosen to encapsulate the 2 days conference is Reinventing Education in School. We as educators have the Herculean task of revamping the chalk-talk method of old and to froth and frill the teaching-learning process with technology, experimentation, innovation, self-discovery, and my list can go on and on. The time has come for every educator to rise like a phoenix from the ashes of the old school methods, to embrace new engaging techniques that will mold children into self-confident, self-motivated thinkers who are willing to take the risk, ride the tide, and make India a country to reckon with. We as heads face a lot of challenges, and we look forward for your assistance and guidance from the Secretary of Education and the Director of Education as we move ahead to educate, encourage, and enlighten. On this note, let us seize the day's sessions and sponge up information provided so that we can allow NEP 2020 to unfold to its fullest potential. We, the dear heads of Institute, are here to make a difference in each and every school. Let us seize this opportunity and allow our inherent potential to unfold so that we in turn can incorporate the day's learning in our school. Thank you and God bless.
On the days and friends, I will not take much of your time because I have to go other part of the state, this other end of the state to attend one funeral. So that is why I am speaking first, and I will not take much time because although I would have loved to speak more, because here all headmasters are present and you all are familiar with minimum 45 minutes to 1 hour lecture. So you have to excuse me for that. But I am happy to be here because not only, because first I am more happy because all the headmasters are coming together to discuss education. And you are doing it for, I think this is your 3rd year. Otherwise, normally what happens that teachers or headmasters or other, they come together to discuss 6 pay, 7 pay, 5 pay. stagnation, increment, career advancement, all that. At the most, NOC approvals of the teachers and all, but I'm happy that you are coming together to discuss education. Now my first question to you, that what is your topic today? Reinventing education in the school. So my second question is, that means you believe that education happens only in school? Then why reinventing education in school, in the school? It could have been reinventing education or reinventing. So why our thinking process is as such. Although we all know that education not only merits, when we are talking about education, we should not talk about the school education, but what happens outside the school. Now in school, why now? If all of you have done BA, mostly all of you. So in BA, you must have learned that in ancient time, the one who was not having any work was going for learning, teaching for school. That time, the work was limited. Now, why we are going for schooling? So that we can get some job, we can get some work, correct? Earlier, the one who was not employed was going for, that is what history of education says, that I am not saying. The one who was not having any sort of work, who was, in Konkani, we call it, bekar asa, घराकडे nasa, म्हणून शिकपाचें कितें तरी, असो एक टायम आशिल्लो. पूण आज भुरगो येता, तो कित्या खातीर येता? तो येता बिकॉज ताका मुखार कितें तरी नोकरी मेळची, किंवा मुखार तो जॉब करपा खातीर सक्षम जावपो, नाजाल्यार बिझनेस करपा खातीर सक्षम जावपाचो. इजंट इट? Now, are we making him employable? If we are not making him employable, then there is some problem in our system. First thing is, why a student come to school? Why? To acquire knowledge. Correct. To acquire knowledge. Now, what are we giving him? Are we imparting knowledge to him? What is the difference between knowledge and information? What is the difference between knowledge and information?
Knowledge is that is depth in knowledge. Information is superficial. Information you get from anywhere.
Information and knowledge from teacher.
No, what I'm saying, knowledge will be one.
So,
information is superficial.
So can I say that knowledge is when you are able or you are capable to put your information into use, into practice, then you are knowledgeable, correct? So now, if suppose now this is a bulb. Now, if suppose I know how this works, everybody in this group will know how it works. Now, suppose now suddenly electricity goes off. Anybody from you, or can I repair it? No. If suppose there is problem with that one particular bulb, can I repair it?
Required the tools. You require the tools, and is the knowledge.
No, knowledge. I have information how this works. For example, I have knowledge how this microphone works. Can I repair this? I require a skill. I require knowledge, means I require a skill to repair it. Unless I have a skill, I cannot repair. Now there will be a some sound operator. Can he repair it? He can. The person, he can. Now, if suppose, if you give me a question paper or if you take an exam, both of us, me and that person, who will pass the exam? If both of us may pass, but I will score more. But I don't know anything to repair this. How I will score more? Because I have every information. So that means what I am trying to tell, that there is a problem with our evaluation system. What is the problem in our evaluation system is that we are evaluating how much informative you are, how much information you have, and we are testing your memory. We are not testing your knowledge, or we are not testing your skill. So that is the first thing, that we have to reinvent ourselves. How many of you are having smart classrooms? So many of you are having smart classrooms. Means what? What you are having? You are having smart classroom. Means what? What you are having? You are having some ICT equipment or smart board or smart podium. Correct? Now, how this equipment can convert your ordinary classroom into smart classroom?
You can it can be simulation which you can show the students in the classroom. Because I use simulation also, which are on the net, Colorado. We can directly create scenarios and where a student can test it. So this is not possible in a normal scenario. That can be.
So who is converting an ordinary classroom into smart classroom?
Teacher is.
So when we are talking about smart classroom, we are talking that how many classrooms we have. We have smart boards or smart podiums or ICT equipments. But these equipments will not convert your ordinary room into smart classroom. A smart teacher can convert, and these are just tools. These are just tools to convert your classroom into smart classroom. Unless teacher is smart enough, any classroom, whatever advanced equipment you may fit in your class, will not convert your ordinary classroom into smart classroom. So that is why teacher has to be smart enough. So with this I want to tell you another thing. Whatever we may tell about AI, artificial intelligence, or these equipment, robot and anything, no one can replace teacher if teacher is smart enough. Then again, no one can replace that teacher who will prove his or her relevance to the time. If you are not able to prove your relevance to the time, then 100% this equipment will replace you. So many a time I hear from teachers or headmasters that we work so hard but there is no appreciation. It happens so, no? Many a times. So here also I would just like, these are my straight thoughts which I am just putting across. Now suppose your school gets fired. उजू लागला चुकलाक अकस्मात आणि सगळे टीचर समजा असा किती करतात ऑल टीचर हॅव टोल्ड ऑल स्टुडंट्स टू गो आणि तुम्ही सकल बाय आसा बायतल्यान उदक काडटात मारतात चालू आसा आपण जेच्या समजा स्कुलाक लागचो न्ही पूण हांव असं उदाहरण दिता आणि मारतात सगळे त्रास काडटात धांवतात कोण उजल मारतात कोण झाडं घेतात उजो पालयतात आता इट इज गोईंग ऑन फॉर फुल हाफ डे अँड सडनली suppose Vilas Satarkar comes and he just sees and he to kai karna manna ho to parna he just calls a fire brigade comes in 2 minutes and palita hota who should that particular head of the institution or management should appreciate, but he has not done any hard work. So I don't know phone gelo ani police fire brigade आपल्याकडे पालन नाही. Unless you are effective, your hard work is giving some yielding result, or you are effective, nobody will praise your hard work, and you should not expect that my hard work will be appreciated unless you are effective. So please understand there is difference between efficiency and effectiveness. There is difference between hard work and effectiveness. You have to be effective enough. Unless you are effective, no one will praise your hard work. So when we are talking about reinventing education in the school, first of all we have to reinvent ourselves. आम्ही आमकाच नव्यान सोदपाक जाय दर दिसा, not only just once in a year. Now what happens many a times when we come together and we should discuss our good practices. I don't know these 2 days whether there is any session that we have to discuss our good practices, and we should try to replicate that good practices and other. I was telling SCERT director that ask for good practices. We will give some prize for good practices and we will ask other schools to replicate that good practices. But what happens in this type of scenario, when there is so much competition between 2 schools, they will not share all my good practices. So that to copy mala so this is our attitude. So why many a times we feel that we are protecting interest of our student. We should protect interest of the student at large, student community. Then only we will be able to achieve. Together we will be able to achieve many things. But if we start competing with each other, that era has gone. If we start competing with each other, we will not able to progress. And why I am saying that NEP may talk about many things. NEP talks about students should give option of one subject option or 2 subject option. He can learn any subject. Now, is it possible for Zingde to grant 10 subject or 10 teachers of subject teacher to one school? No, it's not possible. But he can grant for 10 school 10 teachers. Now, if suppose any nearby school student wants to learn that particular subject from that school, we have to allow. And we can allow when you are together. We are in group. You are in group and you will allow this option. And this option means students will not travel. You don't require student to travel. Initially teacher can travel. Then teacher also need not travel. How?
Online.
You can create a virtual classrooms. You can create a virtual classroom or online teaching can be allowed. But this can allow when you will together you will think about the education, you will collaborate with each other. Otherwise, if you start competing with each other, then it may not happen. Many a time what happens that I have given this example in one of the function of skill development. I am also secretary skill development and entrepreneurship. In one function I have given this example that there was a sawmill and it's not exactly a sawmill that this what you call it that wood cutting unit. And there were many wood cutters, those who used to cut the wood with their axes. So there were 10 wood cutters who used to cut wood with their axes. One day they realized that 9 of them, they work for 8 hours. And one of them is working only for 6 hours. However, the owner of that particular workshop or this wood cutting unit is paying more to that person who is working just 6 hours. So they went, all 9 of them, they went to the owner and they asked, why this is injustice. We are working for 8 hours and you are paying us less. And he is working only for 6 hours and you are paying him much more than us. So owner told him, you may be working 9 hours, 10 hours or 8 hours. It's none of my business. I am paying based on how much wood you are cutting. So they said, how it is possible that he is cutting more wood than us? Because he is working only 6 hours. We are working, that I don't know. You have to go and ask him. I don't know that. But he is cutting more wood than you and that is why I am paying more. Because finally I have to see my profit. Whatever hard work you are doing is your business. I see only result. They all went to that one woodcutter who is working for 6 hours and asked them that how come you are working only on for 6 hours and cutting more wood than us. So he told them that I am working 6 hours correct. 1 hour I am giving to my family. But remaining 1 hour, what I do? Every day I sharpen my axe. So then they realized they were using old axe that was not sharpened for years together and they could not cut the tree. So this person was cutting because he was sharpening his axe every day. As a teacher, we have to sharpen our axe every day, every week, every month, every year. Or otherwise, we will not be able to produce result. As a head of the institution, you have a bigger role to play than other teachers. That is why we are now launching a leadership program for all headmasters, all higher secondary principals, including college principals, and those who are aspiring to be a headmaster or principal. That this will happen in batch-wise. So, first batch we will be selecting 40 people, 20 from government sector, 20 for aided sector. So then there will be this year-long program, but not complete through year-long program. There will be different workshops, different training programs, and so that leadership is developed in such a way that entire school will be developed. Unless as a leader you have to play a bigger role, a greater role than any of your teachers. Many times it so happens that whenever a teacher wants to go for any workshop, we say, "Na, ani to shiketal kon mage tu workshop pa gaya." Any time a teacher wants to go to present a paper in seminar outside even state, then आम्ही म्हटलं ना तो वचून किती करपाचा आणि आम्ही शिकयतलो कोण? We are not realizing that by presenting a paper at national level seminar or by attending any workshop, he or she, the teacher, it's a development of that teacher. He or she will get more exposure. And we are lacking in exposure. So once you get more exposure, they will be able to teach more effectively. So एक दीस गेलो, 2 दीस गेले हे इम्पॉर्टंट ना. जे दीस मेळटले ते दीस ते चड बरे तरेन वापरपाक शकतले. That we have to realize. So that is why being liberal, that does not mean I am saying to सगळ्यांक सोडत रावात म्हणते का, but be liberal in sending teachers for workshops, sending teachers for training programs, sending teachers for presenting papers. Be liberal in that, so that your teachers will be. It's a faculty development program. You take it as a faculty development program, so that you will reinvent education in your school. Then again, when we are reinventing, you come out with 4 walls of your school, and then sky is the limit. And you will be able to reinvent, and again reinvent every day, every month, every year. I thank all organizers for giving me this opportunity to be here to share my thoughts with you. So we are there to help you out or to support you or in all your endeavor to develop education system as a whole in Goa, school education system as a whole in Goa. So let us together do it. Thank you.
Nice to see that your jokes are being cracked. So I'm sure 1.5 days will pass soon. I saw when the joke of headmaster was being cracked here, Conrad was the one who laughed the most. Another important thing that I want to appreciate is you are putting forward good practices of each taluka. That is a wonderful thing. And as Secretary Sir has pointed out, let us not be jealous about good practices. Let us replicate the good ones. Our aim should be students, and no matter whether the student is from my school or the other school. So let all benefit. Now this is the 3rd state level conference, and through SCERT we are definitely supporting the association for the wonderful cause. For me, the heads of the institutions are the link between the schools and the government through the directorate. But as Secretary Sir has pointed out, often the teachers and the heads meet only to discuss about the scales and the salaries, and these are the exceptions. So when people come together for the purpose of education, it gives a good feeling. Just a couple of days back, we had a meeting. We had called around 10 in charges or heads of unaided schools. Mr. Vilas Rector was there. We were discussing about the foundational stage, and we are in the process of preparing short videos. And after a long time, I thought that we were really thinking of education. Otherwise, all the meetings, only the demands regarding the NOCs and approvals, this and that, only administration part. I would like to take this opportunity to request you for certain benefits. As you all know, anyway, I am not advertising for this. One is Byju's app. As you all know, Byju's app is a paid app. But because of one memorandum of understanding, we are in a process, we are in a position to provide the license free of cost for 3 years. So I request all the heads to motivate the students of 10th standard at least to provide their details, that is phone number, mobile number and the email ID, so that on that email ID or on that phone number they will receive that license. It is free for 3 years. Otherwise I think one has to pay around 80,000 rupees. Now whether or not the students use it is a different issue. At least try to avail of the facility. Last year we circulated that. We expected many students to opt for it, but unfortunately only 470 odd students filled the Google form. So that is one request from my side. We will reissue that circular, and Honorable CM is also circulating this through the MLAs, all 40 MLAs. But if you do that part, our work will be reduced, because all the Honorable MLAs will get it in hard copy. And as you all know, we are short-staffed at the Directorate of Education. So I am not in a position to spare some people to key in that data. Another thing is, even if one digit is wrongly entered, the full exercise will be futile. So I urge you to fill up that Google form so that our work will be reduced to a great extent. Second is, we had memorandum of understanding with GeoMI, that is again coming free of cost. GeoMI is one app. Again, it is a software. It is useful for the students, parents and administrators like you and me, because we are in a position to see the outcome on the dashboard. The students will be able to participate, get their doubts solved. If these things are implemented properly, even the remedial teaching may not be required. So it depends on how best the teachers use this. Again, we are not trying to substitute for a teacher. Nobody can substitute a teacher. This will be only a tool. The third thing that I want to tell you about is, we are going to have Vidya Samiksha Kendra. It's almost ready. That is our own setup. Somebody else is setting it up for us, that is Convo Genius. They are going to set it up. It is almost ready, and we are hoping to inaugurate it before the Teachers' Day. Now through this Vidya Samiksha Kendra, every week there is something being circulated called as Parak. Parak is being circulated, but the participation of the students is meager. Now this Vidya Samiksha Kendra is not owned by any other party. It is owned by the Directorate, it is owned by the state government, and we will be in a position to see the entire scenario of the schools in the state sitting in the office, and you will be send a circular. You will be able to get the students and come to SCERT and see what is that Vidya Samiksha Kendra. That will give us insight into the learning outcomes, and that is expected to solve many other issues as well. One is learning outcome and also tracking of students. Because I know at the national level they talk of so many things. They tell us to find out what the students do after they pass out 10th standard. What they do after they pass out 12th standard. My simple question is, are you going to look after the students who are passing out and going somewhere else, or you are going to pay attention to the next batch? But the other people don't realize this. But if this Vidya Samiksha Kendra is fully functional, maybe we will be in a position to track the students right from the birth and even beyond when they pass 10th standard or 12th standard. Then, one more thing I want to tell you, we have launched our media handle. Even in the assembly there were questions on why that media handle is introduced. Let me tell you, media handle is for two things. One is for the awareness regarding what we are doing, and second, projecting good practices by the schools. If you see that, you will realize that recently we put up one video from one school in Kanpon, one aided school, Liberata school, wherein the students are going to the field. And if you watch that video, you will agree how joyful the students are. Do watch the video and feel free to send such videos of what good practices, good things you are doing in your school. The only requirement is when you click the photographs or videos, do that in landscape mode. Make sure that the quality of video is minimum HD so that we will be able to put those on our media handle. And our media handle is followed by Prime Minister's Office, Chief Minister's Office, and even in other countries. So please send us the videos. We have done this media handle to give good coverage to all the schools. But make sure that whatever you are sending is of good quality. We will definitely filter, we will not just put anything. We will filter and only then we will put it. Because there are certain calls I cannot refuse, certain messages I have to reply on priority. So when it comes to skill, I am also tempted to share a few jokes. Of course, majority of the jokes are on Sardarjis. They are very intelligent people, but I don't know why some jokes are on Sardarjis. Do you know how many Sardarjis are required to fix a bulb? So this is a joke. Let's say 5. For intelligent Sardarjis, 5. 1 to hold the bulb and 4 people to rotate the Sardarji. So some of the things, secretaries have mentioned about one good example, answering the exam. And that actually happened when I was a student. When I was doing my BSc, it was second year, I had a classmate by name Orlando who was designing amplifiers at that time. This was somewhere in 85, 86. he was designing amplifiers and selling them, but he failed in physics, that to electronics. And this is a sad story. So I feel, of course, not to contradict anyone, the things will improve when we de-link school education with jobs. School education should be for better living and not for jobs. And the education at a later stage can be skill-oriented totally, keeping in mind the jobs. But we should focus, in the schools, we should focus more on making the students better individuals, better citizens. Of course, with National Education Policy 2020, there are supposed to be lots of changes. Last policy was in 1986. My question is, have we been able to follow it? Then came Right to Free and Compulsory Education Act. Did we implement it in totality? Or to be more specific, CCE, Continuous and Comprehensive Evaluation. It was there in 1960s as well. We reintroduced that after the implementation of RTE. Was it implemented properly? So let me tell you, there are lots of policies, so many plans, but are they being implemented properly? Implementation is in your hands. Because let me tell you, you are a group of over 400 individuals. You cater to more than 160,000 students. You have a big role to play. You are not only teachers, but you are administrators. If you use your thinking, your interaction here in the best possible manner, I am sure we will be in a position to implement the National Education Policy 2020. And I always mention, if in Goa we cannot do it, how can they do it in bigger states? Goa is such a small state. Within 1 hour, we can reach from any border to Panji or Margao. Whereas in other states, even if there is a transfer, it has to be overnight travel via road. So Goa, according to me, is an ideal laboratory, especially for things like education. With your dedication, we can achieve anything. So I look forward for your support, your good ideas, so that we can be #1 state in this country. So I wish all the participants and the organizers all the very best. I hope everything will be as planned and many fruitful things will come out. All the very best. Thank you.
I will be very brief. My role is more to welcome each one of you to this wonderful place. As a director of the center, with all my collaborators, I extend a very warm welcome to each one of you. And I'm happy to know that every year the Headmasters Association, they tell me, Father, we like this place and we would like to have our conference here. It is also a joy for me to welcome the Goa Headmasters Association, all the members. This place is known for a lot of divine radiations, a lot of positive vibes. And all those who come to this place, they experience a sort of calm, a tranquility. And that's why I think people love to come to this place. This place is the spiritual renewal center of the Archdiocese of Goa and Daman. The building that you see on the other side, it was built almost 350 years ago, and there lived the oratorians of St. Philip Neri for almost 150 years. Holy people, and that's why on this hill there are a lot of positive vibes. This place is also known for a miracle of a cross. The church, which is adjacent to the center, is dedicated to the cross of miracles. And that's why, my dear friends, all of us who have come here, we experience a lot of peace. During the second phase of COVID, this place was opened up as a COVID care center. It was a COVID care center for almost 40 days, and a lot of people came here, and all of them, they went away healed or cured from COVID. We had help from a lot of doctors, and that's why all those who look back to this center, they experience the joy, the healing. And that is also my wish for all of you, as you are the builders of the future which you and I may not see. I always say, teachers, and you as headmasters, headmistresses, you are the builders of a future which you and I may not be able to see. And that's why it is said, a teacher's influence extends in eternity. A teacher's influence extends in eternity. We are preparing, and you are the ones who are preparing for a future which you and I may not see. I wish you all the best. I wish the organizers of this conference the very best for these 2 days, for today and tomorrow. And I wish all the headmasters, the headmistresses present here, a very best in your journey, the journey of molding young hearts and minds, the journey of building a humane society, the journey of building a strong nation. And that's why you are responsible, you have a great responsibility. May God accompany all of us in this wonderful journey of love, of education. Thank you so much, and once again, a warm welcome to this place.
We express gratitude to our past presidents of Vilas. May I request Mrs. Esmeralda to kindly acknowledge Sir's presence, past president, with a flower. Thank you. Thanks given. I, Mrs. Mabel Da Costa, Headmistress of St. Xavier's High School, Valley, Secretary of the GHA, and on behalf of the GHA, is glad to express the vote of thanks. I take this opportunity to express my gratitude and appreciation to our Chief Guest, Shri Prasad Lolayekar, IAS Secretary of Education, who has just left, who spared his time from his busiest schedule to grace this event. We are all enlightened today with his presence. His presence made a difference to this gathering and inspired us all. I place on record our gratitude to Shri Shailesh, Sinai Zingde, Director of Education, for all his support and encouragement. Thank you, sir, for your valuable presence today. Your able guidance has always encouraged us, and it has made a difference to our JHA with your valuable presence, sir. I would like to convey thanks to Dr. Shambhu S. Ghadi, Director, SCERT, who is always very supportive and encouraged the GHA to organize this conference for heads. Thankfulness to Dr. Reverend Father Henry Falcao, Rector of Spiritual Renewal Center, this center, Old Goa. Father, we are very grateful to you for having given to us your well-equipped premises for this conference. God bless you, Father, for your good work. I take this opportunity to thank all past presidents of the JHA who made it possible to attend today's conference, in particular, Sir Mario Quadras. Special thanks to Madam Esmeralda Mendes for taking care of the days, mementos, flowers, and the prayer moment this morning. We are very grateful to our press and media for taking up this coverage. Thank you very much. We thank in anticipation the caterer, Mr. Palkar, who will take care of food and nutrition. The decorator, Roy Serron. Special thanks to Mr. Manoj for sponsoring the GHA, that's our Goa Headmasters Association diaries, and sponsoring the kit which will be presented to the heads a little later. A word of appreciation to Stephen Da Costa for helping us with the photography. I would like to thank Sachin, our GHA clerk, who's always very supportive and who helps us with his timely support. Of course, the compere of this morning, Mrs. Evelett, a word of appreciation to her as well. Thank you, Evelett. Last but not the least, all our guests present today, a thank you to all of you, our heads, assistant heads of different institutions for attending this conference in large numbers. God bless you all. I excuse myself if I have left out anyone, acknowledging gratefulness and thank you to. May God's blessings be turned upon everyone on us today. Thank you very much and may God bless you.